What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we go over some recruiting news on a potential wide receiver flip target here for the Wolverines, plus where Michigan stands in some preseason polls, and also some intel on fall camp and what some Michigan football players said to the media as TJ Guy talked about some players standing out to him, plus the whole team locking in for fall camp, the good practices they've had. And also wide receiver Donovan McCulley talks about some of the new wide receivers that has stood out to him, and also his thoughts on true freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood and his personal goals. And Giovanni Ohadi speaks on two offensive linemen, his personal growth this offseason, and Bryce Underwood also being able to throw the ball left-handed. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so to start this video, I first did want to go over some recruiting news here for the Wolverines. As if you guys missed yesterday's video, they did come away with a 2027 commitment, and we also gave the latest on the top quarterback target, one of their top quarterback targets out of Malachi Zeigler. But Michigan seems to be going after a potential flip target here, and that is the 2026 four-star current Missouri commit and wide receiver Jabari Brady. Comes from the state of Florida, goes to Monarch High School, and he is a 6'3", 185-pound wide receiver. And according to John Garcia of Rivals, and he did say that Michigan was the last scholarship offer for Brady before he committed to Missouri in June. But Ron Bellamy and the Wolverines continued to communicate with him, as Brady did tell him that the receiver coach Ron Bellamy there says that he doesn't care which school I go to, he's going to put pressure on me no matter what to come to Michigan. And he said, Bryce Underwood is a great quarterback, so he's trying to get me to have a connection with him. And he says I'm a big receiver, but a big and fast receiver to be able to make plays on the ball, and Michigan would like to host him for an in-season official visit this fall. So a potential flip wide receiver target right there for the Wolverines. Michigan does still have 3 wide receiver commits in the class, as they have put together a pretty dang good wide receiver class already with Zion Robinson, Travis Johnson, and then the very underrated Jalen Pyle. So just wanted to mention that in an update there. And the new preseason coaches poll did come out, and Michigan is a top 15 team. They checked in at number 14 on the 2025 college football preseason coaches poll, as it was released yesterday. So let me know what you guys think about that. Obviously, just a preseason poll. And then Joel Klatt also released his preseason poll, and he put Michigan at number 10. So let me know what you guys think about both of those preseason polls. But nonetheless, Michigan still checks in as a top 15 team on both of them. And yesterday we did talk a little bit about what both Chip Lindsey and Wink Martindale said as fall camp has started here for the Wolverines. The pads are on, but we got a little bit more. Some Michigan players also spoke to the media yesterday. And I first wanted to start with something a little interesting. TJ Guy did say that Coach Moore challenged us to kind of stay off social media, go into the bunker as fall camp started, just going for a month and doing what you got to do, no social media for the team. And he said I could see it carrying out through too, because I feel like what it really does is, as young people, we go on our phone and start scrolling, and without that scrolling mindlessly, we can be productive and do something good. So I thought that was interesting. Definitely a good thing for the team and the players just to lock in here into fall camp and prepare for the upcoming season. But as far as the vibes in fall camp, TJ Guy said it's been really good, really high spirits. And for me personally, after that night practice we had 2 days ago before the off day, I was like, we're going to be really good. We have a lot of talent on this team, and the practice was really good. He said just the whole team, Michigan football, we just have playmakers everywhere. We're a close-knit group, building the continuity, and it was the first day we were really turned up for real. We were flying around. It was just good to see offensive guys making plays, defensive guys flashing. And he also stated, talking about Bryce Underwood and all the quarterbacks, for that matter. He said, us, we're a great defense, and he's not going to see too many defenses better than us. So he's not going to see too many defenses doing too much more crazy things than we do. I feel like it's a great test for him. And as the saying goes, iron sharpens iron. And then TJ Guy also named one breakout player on each side of the ball on offense. He did talk about right tackle Andrew Sprague. He said, I think he's going to be a problem for real. He's big, kind of makes everything, look the same, and he's a great player. And also on the defensive side, he said, I would say Jair Hill, he looks way more locked in. He's making plays out there, and he's going to be a different guy this year for sure. So that's definitely some good news right there. Michigan needs Jair Hill to step up to be their, lead cornerback. It's his time to shine now. And Michigan wide receiver Donovan McCulley also spoke to the media, and he did talk about the Michigan wide receiver room. First talked about the transfer from UMass, Anthony Simpson, and he said that he's real quick. I've never seen somebody move how fast he moves. I haven't seen a lot of him, but he's progressing. And then he also talked about the freshmen, and he said, man, those guys, they're going to be something special. Marsh, he moves. I've never seen a freshman move as fluid and smooth as him. And then Jamar, as long as he stays aggressive, he'll be perfectly fine. Uses his size well. Then also Jacob Washington, he said he's pretty fast too. I think he used to run track as well, and he's smooth out of his breaks and stuff. But he's still got some learning to do, just like all the freshmen do, but they look pretty good. And Donovan McCulley also spoke on Bryce Underwood. He said, I look at his poise as a young quarterback, and me coming into college as a young quarterback, I didn't have the same poise that he has. It's just night and day how much poise he has, and that's something that gives me confidence in him. Then as far as Mikey Keene, the Fresno State transfer, he said that he is impressed with the knowledge of the game that he has, and you can tell when he gets the ball out, he knows exactly where he wants to put the ball and stuff like that. And he also talked about wearing the number 1 jersey at Michigan. He said he's done his research on the number 1 jersey and stuff like that. He said it's just awesome sitting there watching Anthony Carter, David Terrell. He said, I think David Terrell is my favorite though. He's my favorite one, and I think, when I watch him the most, because we're similar play styles, body types. But he said, wearing the number 1, I've always worn the number 1. I feel like that's just normal to me, but I know it's, special here at Michigan. I'm going to keep holding that to a standard. And he said that, I just wanted to be a guy that made plays and handled my business coming in. But he said now it's like I'm becoming more of a vocal leader. I'm leading more by example and stuff like that. So that's my progression from the spring. Also spoke on his goals. He said individual goals are at least 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then team goals obviously are to win every single game. And then also Michigan offensive lineman Giovanni Elhadi also spoke to the media, and he said, last year I played very lightly. I had a bad camp. I didn't take good care of myself. I was playing around 300 to 305 pounds, but right now I'm about 325 to 330. Did say just, eating a lot just in general, the way I was drinking water. I drink about 1 gallon to 2 gallons a day because I sweat a lot. But every practice I was losing about like 10 to 15 pounds of water weight. The first week I was doing a pretty good job, but over time when you are losing that type of weight and just drinking that much water and eating that much, you just kind of get tired. And this year I said, hey, I don't care how tired you are, you better eat or drink as much as you can until you feel like a balloon. He said, now when I get my hands on you, it's a lot more weight trying to push through. That's the biggest difference. Far stronger. And he's talked about the Michigan offensive line. He said that it won't be a weakness this upcoming season. This offensive line definitely challenging not only the coaches challenging them, but they're challenging themselves as well to live up to the standard. Ahadi said that the line was iffy. There's a lot of new guys of last season, but a lot of guys switching. We didn't really know how to handle that because the last 3 years previous to that, it was the same guys. But now we kind of understand how to work through that. We have that mindset that no matter who's in there, better have that urgency to get better and kick some butt. How do you name 2 players, Evan Link and Andrew Babalola? He said Link and Babs are doing a really good job. Me and Link, we played on the right side, and now we're both on the left side. It just feels very natural. The chemistry is there. And he said Babs is amazing. He's a really good freshman, so smart. I was not that smart when I was a freshman. I'll tell you guys that right now, but he's going to be a superstar and just the natural abilities he has. Another interesting thing is Giovanni Ohadi on Bryce Underwood said that he can throw with his left hand just as good as his right hand. We were just chilling out there and he's just slinging it 40-50 yard bombs with the left hand, and I'm thinking, man, the ball might not even go straight if I throw it with my left hand. It was just crazy seeing that. So that is actually really crazy to hear right there, as Bryce Underwood can even sling it with his left hand. So that's what some Michigan football players said on fall camp, players standing out. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.